Go. And we are back. Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mexican, back after about 2 months.
Órale, homie.
Back at Bogey's in Clifton, New Jersey. I'm your host, Peter Soprano. To my right is a resident Mexican, David Quinones.
Órale, mi gente.
And to my left, D-Money Drizzy Dre.
Good, people.
And like I said, it's been a long time. Probably since like mid-January since we last met up. So
prior to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, so it's been a
long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, we haven't met up for this since the Super Bowl at least. So
nice little break.
It's not Dave's fault. So we got a lot to discuss.
Welcome us back.
We got 45 minutes to discuss it, so let's get right into it. One of the big stories, obviously, while we're gone, the Astros scandal. We started to actually touch on this the last show that we had in the basement. And I remember I was saying if all the stuff with the buzzers were true, take away the rings and everything like that. And I know you were a little bit more hesitant about it, find out more information, find out what happened. Now what do you think, Dave? Now, first of all, they're not going to get any punishment, obviously, because the commissioner's acting like a bitch. So the commissioner, the guy that calls it a piece of metal, doesn't want to do any punishment for them. So what punishment would you do right now if you had a chance? If you were the commissioner, what would you do?
If I was
knowing that they have admitted to it, so they have cheated. We don't know if the buzzers or anything, but they have cheated. What would you do?
Evidence.
I would not allow them to play for 1 whole year.
Ooh.
How about that?
Wow. I like this now.
No contention, obviously. Listen,
Dave for commissioner.
This is not the wait and see that we saw before break.
No, of course not. I mean, listen. Like I said, I think I was a little hesitant about taking away the title because I think there's too many ifs, there's too many buts, there's too many maybes. In terms of how the playoffs would have panned out. How who knows if they would have won, if they would have lost.
Yeah.
But I definitely I do agree with you guys in terms of Major League Baseball knew. Mm-hmm. I believe there's evidence out there that they warned these clubs. They had information about the Astros, and not until Mike Fiers came out and actually said it publicly, it became a big issue because obviously, listen, we all know how this goes, guys. Once stuff gets to the media and the media has a hold of it and it spreads like wildfire, especially utilizing social media, forget it. People go crazy. Then now it's kind of like, okay, now, oh my God, Major League Baseball has to do something about this now, especially because it's all over the news, all over social media. I definitely agree that the commissioner hasn't done enough to punish this team, and they're already being punished, especially with all the boos. Their players getting hit. It's going to be a rough season.
I want to see them get hit every game.
Let me tell you. I want to see them get hit every game. So it might be a good thing if he came out and did that.
Police
because let me tell you,
yourselves.
it is going to be a rough season for the Astros. No matter how you put it, it's going to be a rough season this year.
I think the stat was they got hit 7 times in the first 5 games. Yep. I want them hit every game.
7 different players.
Yeah, police yourselves, players. That's what you do.
The sarcasm,
everybody throwing
teams,
shade. Everybody throwing shade.
Jokes, this and that. You're going to see it a lot this year. I mean, a lot to the point where it's going to drive the Astros players in that organization crazy. It's going to be a tough season for them.
All right, so my punishment was obviously take the rings away, have it as a vacated World Series. You say suspend the players for 1 year. What would you do?
Suspend the team.
Listen,
the whole team.
The whole team. No, wait a minute. So would you? So there's a question.
Yes.
So wait a minute. So there's a question. What about the players that aren't no longer on that team? What would you do with them? Would they also be suspended?
Yeah, I think they should be punished. Well, I think it would be tough to find out exactly, who was in it because there's some players. There's some players that have came out and said they knew about the system and they were asked to be part of the system. They said no,
and they get no, and there's and they get no benefit of the doubt.
They don't
because they didn't come out and say it.
You're right. But still, I mean, there's a big difference between being part of the system and
suspend them for the year too.
Listen, because let's all be honest here. If
guilty
somebody's
by
giving
association,
but if somebody's giving you a paycheck, somebody's allowing you to play, Major League Baseball, professional level. I could see where I would say, you know what, I don't want to be part of your system, but I want to play. I want to play. I want it to be fair. I'm going to play fair. Listen, I don't want any involvement in what you guys are doing. So,
all right. So, Dre, what would you do if you're in that situation? What would your punishment be?
Man, look, there's a lot of possibilities, but I think what would make everybody happy is what you said, Pete, and is vacate the title, make it vacant. and and just move on.
Well, because it puts a damper on everybody that fought to win the World Series that year. It's like, listen, we lost to a team, and we think we were better, but we don't know.
Now the fact that you had to go around and figure out who was involved and all that's gonna be a lot of money spent, a lot of time spent. I think the easier route, which I think a lot of people would be satisfied with, in my opinion, would just strip them from their championship and just make it vacant because otherwise...
I mean, at worst, put an asterisk. You have to put a...
Or an asterisk, maybe.
But
like stripping a title, my problem is, what does that really do? What is that? What are you doing? Are you just changing the history books? They still went out, and
history is a huge part of baseball. We all know that.
But people know that they still went out and they won this. The
yeah, but we're talking about this now. So let's say we don't know what actually happened 100 years ago in baseball. So 100 years from now in baseball, there's no way for somebody to know unless they look at the record books or they were told by somebody. So 100 years from now, you don't want to look at the record books and say, oh, the Astros made the World Series like 2 or 3 years in a row. Like, wow, they were a really good team.
People are going to know about this, obviously.
Yeah, but
because of the scandal.
They will, but I mean... look at a White Sox scandal. Like,
I was about to say White Sox scandal. That pops out to me too. So,
but that's what I'm saying.
That happened a long time ago.
But that's what I'm saying. It finished so long time ago that the people nowadays don't really know what happened.
Like they look back to the history of
you have to.
Like, oh shit!
I know what happened.
Scandal.
Sorry, everybody can't be a great baseball fan like Dave.
And then you're gonna have those obnoxious fans still claiming that title no matter what, saying,
the Houston Astros fans that are saying, everybody's against us and wearing the T-shirts that said, they hate us and stuff. I'm like, that's a perfect symbol to where you should beat them right there in the chest.
I think it just opens the door for a lot, when you set a precedent like that too. So what are you going to do? Are you going to investigate more now, against the Patriots on all the dirty tactics they did? And
there's no reason they should have got. And they lost a draft pick.
What are we going to do here?
It was stupid. They lost a draft pick for cheating to win a Super Bowl. Like,
so you would agree to
I thought they should have taken that away soon.
To strip their Super Bowl
all of them.
Championship. So.
Every year that we're proving that they cheated and they won, no, they should have won those years. Like I can't take that. Like your team, not just as players, but even as fans, you emotionally invested into your team going that far in the World Series, and then they lose, and you find out the other team cheated.
Guys,
you're like, fuck them,
Now, guys,
embarrassment.
Now, let me ask you something, because now I'm talking from a casual point of view. I'm a casual fan. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody taking accountability? Now, I'm talking about real remorse, real accountability to what to the whole scandal, and I'm talking about as far as I'm referring to the to those part of the organization and those involved.
Nobody has
not really.
There was one. There was one player.
But that's not enough.
I know, but there was one player, Ken Giles. Ken Giles was the closer on that team that won. He now plays, I think, for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's still pitching well. And he said, listen, I wasn't part of it, but if you ask for the ring back, that's fine, because I understand the magnitude of this. And for him to say that, that's the only person that has actually said, you know what, I understand how wrong this was, that if you want to take the ring back, you can take it back. And that's the only person I've seen do that. The Correa has been, say we cheated, but you guys don't know how much it was. And Altuve is saying that, I wasn't part of the cheating. I told him not to do it when I was batting. So all of them have pretty much said, yes, we cheated, but they denied how much cheating was going on and what they've done.
But that's not accountability.
That's what I'm saying. He's the only one that I've seen done something.
Accountability. Yeah, I hear you.
So,
again, there's a player on the Oakland Athletics. I forget his name. So I think he's second baseman, and he was the one that came out and said that they asked him to be part of the operation. He said no. He said no, I'm not doing that. You do whatever you want. And he came out and he said it. So and he's not with the Astros anymore. He's with the A's, but I forgot his name. So.
And the A's are the same team that has Friars, which is the guy who broke it out. So
yep.
So
hold on. What about their bonuses?
They get bonuses for moving on, and every round that you move on. Well, that's the thing. If you don't take away the rings, you can't really take away the bonus.
That's a good point.
Because so if you take away the rings, then you can talk about taking back the bonuses. But if you don't take away the rings, like what's the point of the bonus then?
It'll be a ripple effect.
They should get new rings that says Peter on it.
All right, so let's move on now to some football.
I'm just really curious. Before we move on, all I had to say is I'm just really curious to see how this season's going to play out. We see how everything in spring training, everything's like happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious to see how, how fans, other teams, other organizations are going to react to this. And it could get ugly. We know it could get ugly.
It's definitely going to get ugly.
And you know who's
if Astros get far, that's
it's gonna be really annoying. You know who's getting the biggest break out of this? And our producer Javi brought this up over the weekend. The biggest team that's getting the break of this is the Red Sox. They got found for cheating too. They got found out for cheating too, and nobody's talking about the Red Sox.
Well, I think the problem is the spotlight's on the Astros. I think when the dust settles, that spotlight may move to Boston. So
well, that's
once
the thing.
they do a little digging.
But that's the thing. Why did we highlight the Houston Astros first? Because Red Sox won the World Series their year in 2018. They were looked at cheating. They got their manager fired also. So maybe more details need to come out about what they actually did, and maybe there'll be more of an uproar about it. But it kind of goes back to what you said. Once social media, once the media really gets a hold of it, then it starts to blow up. So once more details start coming out about the Red Sox, maybe they'll blow up.
All right, so let's start breaking down Boston.
Perfect example is with the Kobe Bryant issue that happened with the deputies, the 8 deputies that passed around the pitcher. What I found out is that those guys, that actually happened within the first 2-3 days that it happened. But what happened is the media caught hold of it, and they said they were going to keep it indoors, made them delete the photos. And they all met up in the room, deleted all the photos, everything was done. But what happened is media caught a hold of it, and when media caught a hold of it, they were like, oh, we got to do an investigation, and now they opened back up the case. Oh, there was 8 people involved. So, like you said, when the media gets involved in it, then it blows up. So maybe the same thing happened with the Red Sox.
And it starts right here from 2 dudes in the Mets. Let's bring down Boston.
But again, where do you draw the line then? Because, even Derek Jeter, the great Derek Jeter, has been quoted as saying that teams, not just the 2 teams that we're talking about, other teams around the league, listen, have done things in the past, even now, to try to get an advantage. Not as extreme as what we're talking about, but other teams have done it. It's been known. It's been known in sports, like you just said.
Yeah.
Even in baseball, the pastime, what I'm saying?
There's always been sign stealing.
Yes, there's always been some type of system.
But there's never been nothing electronically to do it.
Yes, not as extreme is what I'm saying. But, again, it does give a black eye to this sport and a black eye, obviously, to the teams that are that all this evidence has came out. But, again, like I'm saying, where do you draw the line then? Because, again, other teams have done it. Outside of Boston and the Astros, but not as extreme.
I think it starts getting better. Not the Yankees. I think it gets bad when it starts.
Joe Girardi said something. Yeah, they got it. Yeah,
I think it gets bad when it goes towards a team-wide thing. I think that's when it gets bad because when we see sign stealing in baseball, it's the guy on second base signaling to the hitter, or it's somebody trying to read the signs and say, "Oh, he's tipping his pitches," something like that. It's usually a one-on-one or one-on-two thing.
That's always been in baseball.
But not just that. It's that when it's a team-wide thing, it's like it's getting out of hand.
But I think even again, just quoting others on radio, like Girardi has even came on to say that I don't know if he was referencing the Yankees or he was referencing the team that they were going against at the time. I forgot what team he was talking about, but he was talking about a system where there's somebody upstairs in the box and there's communication. I don't know if electronically, but communication from the field to the dugout.
See, stuff like that needs to be brought out.
That's crazy.
It needs to be brought out.
Yeah, there you go. So I just goes to show you. There's been different systems in the past, to try to gain an advantage.
All right, so let's move on because this scandal isn't going away, so we're going to have a lot of time to talk about it, and it's going to keep going. So a little bit of NFL. I want to get this out of the way because it's being talked about a lot. Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, 2 guys that'll be free agents. Free agents. Ignore our producer. And
Ignore our producer.
Listen, Dre, where do you think those 2 quarterbacks are going? You got the whole league that's looking at those 2 guys. Both one of them.
No. The Steelers are getting both of them.
No. We want none of them.
Where do you think either one is going?
Wow. Honestly, look, if I had to guess, I'm gonna just go with what everybody else is assuming. I'm thinking Phillip might land in Tampa because it looks like Jameis wants out.
Okay.
And
they might not want Jameis back.
and it looks like the rumors are heating up very quickly about Tom Brady going to Oakland. which I think that's another possibility.
Oakland.
Now,
Well, no, it's not Oakland anymore. It's Vegas now.
Vegas, wow.
Vegas.
Back to Vegas, bro.
Vegas, baby.
or he could
Viva
play for
Las Vegas, baby.
or the second team I was thinking was a San Diego Chargers. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you're going to get a lot of people right into you. San Diego, Oakland.
Come on, Tommy.
Nah, LA Chargers. So,
All right. So,
yeah.
LA Superchargers.
But I think Brady ends up in Vegas.
all right.
Yeah, Dana White goddamn promoting him
I see
too.
here they're talking about
They're hyping them.
They're hyping him. Why not?
San Fran now.
That's Stephen A. Smith.
All right, I'll comment on that. What teams do you think they're going to?
Listen, Brady's Cali boy, man. So he's going back to Cali. I really think. Yeah, I think he's going to. I think he's going to California.
Now, there's a lot of teams in California.
Yeah, I know.
you got
San Diego.
I think he's going to the Chargers, man. I really think he'd be a good fit there. Listen, they got a tremendous running back.
They're set up, man. They're set up.
They got a pretty good offense. Wide receivers that Pete likes and loves, and he wants to trade throughout the year.
This guy's in love with Keenan Allen. And you want to talk about me? What the hell?
Talking about that other dude that tried to trade me during the season.
Yeah, Williams is good too. Yo. Mike Williams is a good wide receiver.
There you go. See, there you go. Mike
Williams is a good wide receiver.
No. Honestly, man, I think Brady's going to Cali, man. I think he ends up with the Chargers. I think they're gonna. It's enticing for him. Again, he's from California. Why not? Mm-hmm. And I think they have a good offense that's going to be set up that he can
control
and do well.
So what about Rivers? Then?
Rivers, man. That I'll be honest with you, man. That's a tough one.
No, we don't want him.
You never know. Maybe the Steelers. Hey, who you guys gonna have then? Who do you guys have? What was that guy's name again?
Not Duck. We got
Duck.
Mason. We got Mason, and we got Big Ben coming back.
Mason was seeing ghosts.
No, he's okay.
He was seeing a lot of things.
I'm content with the second string that we have, and we're content with our starting quarterback, Big Ben. The remaining 04 quarterback. Yes.
He's not even throwing well, bro.
What do you mean?
I'm going to show you the video. He's not even throwing well.
I mean, he did lead the league in passing yards, but anyways.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. So.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, too.
Hey, fuck it, why not?
Go to the Giants.
No. He's going to the Broncos.
That's a good.
Going to the Broncos.
Yeah, you gonna kill my boy Drew Lock?
I got Elway. I got Elway pulling him in.
Why not?
And
love Drew Lock, man.
I'm predicting
you
going to the Broncos.
You ain't see him rapping on the sidelines?
Rapping on the side?
Yo, Drew Lock's the man, yo.
He look good. But listen, you need a veteran there still, man.
No, you don't.
You can't.
That veteran's never won anything in his life.
Before we move on to Pete, Dave's making a great point. You want to put Tom Brady in a system where they already have everything that the quarterback needs. Obviously, you just need the good quarterback play.
Shut up, man. Shut up.
Tennessee Titans.
No, he's not going to the Tennessee Titans.
He's not going to the Tennessee Titans.
No, but I'm just saying, that's one of his fit, though. He could fit there.
The offense may fit, but he's not going to.
Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's going to the Titans.
We need a new resident Mexican. We need a new resident Mexican.
Though, Pete, where do you think he lands? Because I have a question, but I want to hear what you got to say.
I agree with you that I think Rivers ends up in Tampa Bay. He moved his family out there, and I think he wants his family near to him. So I think that's a perfect spot for him. The only other place that I think he may go, which may be a surprise, is
12 kids.
Is Miami, because Miami may want a quarterback for a year or two to be the bridge between him and Tua. So they may throw a lot of. They have a lot of money, so they may throw a lot of money at him. With Brady, I think I actually agree that I think he goes to the Chargers. I think they have the offense that fits him perfectly.
The running game.
They have a good and also right before we came on air, they made a trade for offensive linemen. So they have the line to protect them. They have good running backs. Even if Melvin Gordon doesn't come back, they still got Eckler there. They got their wide receivers. They'll try to re-sign Hunter Henry. So their offense is completely stacked out to where it's already set.
You think they re-sign Melvin Gordon or what?
No.
Wow.
I don't think they will. Because Gordon wants to be paid big, and they're not going to spend.
He pulled the Le'Veon Bell.
So who do you think signs him then?
That's for another show.
That's for another show. That's a good question. That's for another show, though. But that is interesting.
Colts will never sign a big time running back because they're getting so much production for like no money out of Marlon Mack. So they won't sign any big price for a running back. They'll spend it on defense because that's what they and a
believe
quarterback.
It or not, if I had to throw it real quick, believe it or not, I know they had their injuries. Mm-hmm. I could kind of see Melvin Gordon kind of going to like a Seattle.
Possibly, but they'll have like 18 running backs.
No, they got beast mode, man.
They don't got beast mode. They don't got beast mode. But listen, one sleeper to get either one of those quarterbacks, and in my opinion, I think would be actually a good spot for Brady would be the Indianapolis Colts. Because the Colts,
I was thinking about that.
We all know how good their offense is. Their line is really good. They have their wide receivers, and they have a good running game. So all they need right now is that quarterback to lead them, and they'll have a top-notch offense. So I think that, and they'd be indoors, so we don't have to deal with bad weather or anything like that.
They gave this dude all that money, though, right?
No, they gave him a 2-year, $15 million deal last year. So he already used half of that. They could technically cut him and save like $10 million.
And he could start somewhere else fresh. Who knows? Jacoby could possibly go to New England.
So with that being said, I want to quickly stay in football, but I want to quickly talk about our teams. The draft is going to come about. The combine just finished. I want to know, Dre, what are the two biggest needs that the Steelers have to address it all season?
Quarterback?
No.
Quarterback.
Look, in all honesty, if I say quarterback, it's not going to make sense because the way this organization works is they already wasted their third-round draft pick 2017 for Mason. That's a team that if they believe in him, they're going to stick with him until he really shoots himself in the foot. But the needs...
I guess hitting the head with a helmet.
Say some racial slurs.
Nah, man, fuck out of here.
All right, so what are your two needs?
Tight end. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important, and offensive line.
Okay. Dave, Giants, what are your two big needs?
Defense.
Two defensive players?
Fucking dying here, man. Yeah. We need a pass rusher, obviously.
Bobby Boucher.
And a linebacker, I think. I think those... We haven't had a strong, good, solid linebacker that's been a leader in like a long, long time. I mean...
Hey, you're gonna have
the last one. I guess Pierce comes into mind.
There's a chance that you can have the guy Isaiah Simmons right there sitting for your four. Is this going to be a situation like last year where you passed on Josh Allen?
I hope not, man. So, but yeah, those
he ran a 4.39. 4.39 at 240 pounds is
Simmons,
just
right?
Ridiculous. That's sick.
Insane.
He's a beast.
That's insane.
That is complete. That's as fast as Megatron ran his 40.
So do you think he'll be there for the Giants in draft day?
Well, he's either going to go 3 or 4. He's not going to go 1 or 2 because 1 and 2 was already with Burrow and Chase Young. So he's either going to go to Detroit at 3 or go to you guys or should go to you.
Who has the number 2 draft pick?
Washington. Yeah. So Chase Young is the obvious number 2 pick.
Now, do you think they might go for a quarterback? No, I don't think so.
I think they're putting that rumor out there so that people could like pay a high price to move up. But they took their quarterback last year. They said they like him. I don't think
it's not bad. Again, he was
going
to the pit. But
and plus, you have to give young quarterbacks that only started for 1 year. You got to give them a year to get adjusted to the league. Right. So I don't think they're going to go after a quarterback. But listen, Simmons is probably going to be there for you. I mean. Yes,
take him. Don't fuck around, Giants.
This is the thing.
Don't mess around, get them.
This is the thing. It's a very deep year for offensive linemen, so I think you can get your offensive lineman in the second round.
Oh, yeah. He probably
Jones will still be in the 14th round.
No, he wouldn't.
We would have picked him up in the 14th round.
Listen.
No, he wouldn't.
Listen, get Simmons in the first round, get your offensive tackle in the second round, and you can go from there. And you better re-sign Leonard Williams because you trade a third-round pick to get him.
They'll sign him.
You don't trade a third-round pick to get somebody and then don't sign him back.
I think that's going to be priority. So, or at least it should be priority. So,
all right. So as we move,
and what about you, P? I mean, as far as
Tennessee Titans.
Y'all really gonna talk about Titans?
Quarterback. He didn't quarterback,
man. I mean,
quarterback.
No, they're gonna resign Tannehill, I think. So I don't think they're gonna get a quarterback. I think their two biggest needs is they have to get another pass rusher because it showed last year when they couldn't get to Mahomes at all, and he had 15 seconds to run around and throw the ball. That they definitely need another pass rusher.
He's not lying.
And they need an offensive lineman because I don't think that Jack Kirkland, the right tackle, is going to come back, and because he's a good run blocker, but he's not a good pass blocker, and he's going to want $15 million. It just doesn't make financial sense to bring him back. So I think those are the two things. They got to replace him with a tackle, which they can get in the second round, and they got to get a pass rusher.
One thing I'll say about Tennessee is that they have a really great defense and a running game. To me, that's enough to make them championship caliber. But like Pete said, I mean, without a pass rusher, and you're giving the opposing team, quarterback all that time to sit in the pocket and read the defense. You're ultimately setting up your good defense for failure. And yeah, like I said, it's a couple of pieces missing, but again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens on draft day. But
before we leave football, I know you had a quick question that you wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, okay, but that was back to the topic of the Brady. Now, what do you guys think about? Now, is this true? What Brady is saying? How he wants AB to come along with him, no matter where he goes.
I believe it.
You believe it?
Yeah.
Now, is that a possibility?
Yeah, I believe that.
Would that be a high price tag?
Probably.
But would the team would want AB?
That's the question. That's obviously the question. You need a team that's going to have a lot of cap space because they're going to have to sign Brady for at least $20-25 million, and then Antonio Brown for, even if he takes a discount, it'll be $10-15 million. So you're going to need a team with a lot of cap space and is willing to put up with him. So it's
because my prediction was Brady going back to Vegas. Well, Oakland, whatever, now Vegas. But, yeah. I mean, are the Raiders willing to, take back Antonio Brown?
No.
For the price of Brady? I don't think so.
Not a chance.
I don't think so either, which is why I'm not buying into that whole, I would like him to come along with me, or I'll just go to another team that's willing to do that.
I think he may go to another team
that's willing to do that. You think Oakland might just say, you know what?
I mean,
we'll make amends and...
I mean, what's if they have the money? What's wrong with him going to the Chargers or going to the Colts?
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, I don't. Those
maybe embarrass our organization.
Like the Chargers and the Colts. The Chargers and the Colts are two organizations that don't really have the deep history to where it would. Like not like the Raiders or something like that, not like the Giants. So they don't have that same deep history as them. Obviously, the Colts are one of the original teams, but they still don't have that winning tradition like those other teams have, like the Steelers or the Giants, like those teams. So I don't. So I think it would be different if a combination of AB and Brady went to a team like that.
Hasn't been since John Unitas.
But real quick
question.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Wait. Where
Raiders
you getting this
going to a new city, new stadium. Do they bring Dave Carr with them? Will they start a new era in a new city?
I say yes. I say don't bring him. I say you need a new quarterback in there.
Wow.
Dave?
I say yes, but I don't think they get it done.
You don't think they will trade it?
I don't think this season
to get Derek Carr back.
So
no. Go to a new city without.
They're going to
go to a new city.
Starting everything over. I say cut him. Start over.
He's saying cut him. I think
we'll trade him.
I think they want possibly a new quarterback, but I don't think it's going to happen. At least not
that's
now.
Why I think
it'll happen like next year.
That's why I'm predicting. That's why I'm predicting Brady to land there. But now,
so he thinks he's going to
a lot. But I think he's going. A lot has to.
The only reason I'm a little hesitant now is because I'm thinking like, well, if Brady's really serious about this whole AB shit, then
I'm not going to read too much into that. If it happens, then it happens. But I don't think I'm not going to read too much into the AB, but him deciding where he's going to go.
Yeah, but no, that's why. Yes, to answer your question, Hav, yes, I do think that they should bring a new QB. Right. Obviously, you're going to bring in a lot of fans, no matter what. Especially with a QB like Brady, come on, that thing is going to be insane. Now, again, remember, the Chargers have their new stadium as well coming up.
Yep. And looks nice, too. Looks really nice.
It looks insane.
Looks really nice.
Now.
Too bad they can't fill it.
Now, what was one of the Chargers' downfall this whole season was that even when they played at home, it always felt like they were on a road game, no matter what.
That may not change this year. We still don't know.
Exactly. Now, can it change if you have a quarterback like Brady? I think so. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Possibility.
I mean, they only hated him because of the Rivers. Now that he's gone, they might become a fan.
Well, who knows?
All right, so listen, we're going to be talking as the draft gets closer. We're going to be talking more about our teams and everything like that. Really quick, we want to make quick Final Four picks. Let's pick out our 4 teams for college basketball that we think will be in the Final Four. My 4 is going to be Villanova because they have the experience. They got 2 championships over the past few years. Kansas, they're the number 1 team right now. They've played pretty good. They don't have that top star, but they have a lot of good athletes. Kentucky, because they always have a bunch of talent. Calipari rakes them in as freshmen every single year, and they get better as the year goes on because they get more adjusted to the system and more experienced. And my 4th team is the surprise Dayton.
I was about to say, it's got to be a sleeper, man.
Obi Toppin I think is one of the best players in college. I think he's gonna be a top 3 pick in the draft.
Different 4 teams that he said in Pete's Corner.
No, it's not. It's the same team. So I think Dayton in this year, where I think it's completely up for grabs. I don't think is no dominant teams. I think Dayton is going to find somewhere. Dayton or San Diego State. I'm going with Dayton because I think they're the better team to slip into that Final Four. Dave, what's your 4 teams?
Kansas, obviously. Listen, they're ranked number 1, so I like how they look.
I'm probably going
to
change that Kansas pick by the time we get to the tournament.
They still got time.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree with Villanova. I like Villanova. Their experience. I think they're going to be a good team. I'm going to go out on a limb here. So I'm going to go with Michigan State, man. Listen, I know it's been rough a little bit at the beginning. But I think they're gaining speed. They're gaining steam right now. So I think they're only going to get better as the tournament goes on. And
I'm a Michigan fan, so Izzo could kiss my ass.
And with my last pick, I'm going to go with Duke.
Whoa!
There you go.
Wow!
Said and done. So
really,
that one's for Heck.
I want to know.
That one's for Heck.
Okay,
That
there
one's
you
for
go.
Hoff. All right, Heck and Hoff.
Oh, now the cops are coming for you. Now the cops are coming for you.
I think they turned it around.
That was not a sound effect. That was real.
There you go.
Dre, who are your 4 teams?
Real quick, Kansas, Gonzaga, Baylor, and San Diego State.
Gonzaga, the chokers every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been rough for Baylor, man.
I think they'll turn around this year.
It's going to be hard.
All right.
I see them in the 4.
So listen, as we get closer to March Madness, it starts March 19th. We're going to have a show on March 18th to give you pretty much predictions to who's going to make the Sweet 16, and then the weeks after that and go on. So we'll be giving you a bunch of picks after that. So stay tuned, listen to those picks for both here and on Pete's Corner. But the rest of the time, for the next 13 minutes, we want to talk about boxing. It's been a great time in boxing over the past couple of weeks, even though you still got people talking their shit over the internet that aren't going to do shit. So now you have.
Shots fired.
So now you have all these great fights. You just had Wilder Fury just happen. You just had Mikey Garcia win his fight. Now is lining up for something against Pacquiao. Chocolatito is back, and he won his championship when everybody thought he was dead. You got Canelo versus likely BJ Saunders on Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 2nd. Not really much buzz going on about that. And then obviously you have the usual talking. Terrence Crawford saying about who he's going to fight in June and everything like that.
I'm hearing Tank Santa Cruz.
It could be. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to. Maybe.
It's official.
Oh, have they made it official?
It looks official. Tank's tweeting about it as far as like with the posters and all that.
That guy just needs to stop hitting women. You know?
Oh God.
That guy just needs to stop hitting women. You know?
That's right.
But listen. So let's start this off first of all with Fury versus Wilder. They're going to have part 3. It's looking like it's going to be July 18th, same place at the MGM. First, really? Yeah, same place.
Yeah, in the Middle East.
We'll get to that, but no, it's not in the Middle East. First, really quick. What did you think about the second fight, and what do you think will happen in the third fight?
I remember, we were doing our picks. I obviously had Fury by decision. Yeah. Listen, definitely surprised about him getting that TKO. I thought that this third fight, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's gonna be even easier for Fury this time. I just think that Fury is just too much of an awkward fighter the way he fights for a big guy to move that well, to have footwork that well, and to do what he did against Wilder. I mean, listen, aside from those excuses about the costume being too heavy and all that bullshit. Stupid. Listen, it is what it is, man. Listen, you got to be game on fight night. No excuses. I thought for most of the fight, Fury pretty much dominated that fight. He knows how to fight Wilder. I don't think Wilder always has a puncher's chance, obviously, because of his his wild punches and his power. But I don't think Fury gives him that opportunity, especially in the next fight. So, which is obviously going to be in Vegas, should be good for boxing. But again, I think it's going to be a much easier fight for Fury for fight 3. So
I actually. I disagree a little bit. I don't think it'll be easier. It could be the same thing, but I don't think it'll be easier. I think what this is that it's going to be the same thing. Fury's going to dominate the rounds, and he just has to avoid the punch. Yeah. That's pretty much what it's going to be. And that's how it was in the first fight. That's how it was until Wilder busted his eardrum and he couldn't even stand. And that's what I think will happen in 3. I think it's being, can he avoid getting that hard punch? If he does, he's going to win the fight easily. If he doesn't and he gets caught, then I think Wilder will regain the championship.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Fury, too, he's picking up that popularity in the United States.
He is.
People are really, really getting to know him.
He's a good showman and good promoter himself.
And let me tell you,
that concert after the fight.
I was about to say, like the stuff that this guy does, like licking the blood off Wilder's neck. I mean,
a long time
and
ago.
then he sings American Pie at the end. That was pretty fucking cool.
But listen, I went to see a lot of Fury fights before. Well, previously when he fought here, I went to see him. He fought at the theater against Steve Cunningham, and I remember me and my boy from Philly State, Cool Wills, Matt. We went to that fight, and after even though he got knocked down by Steve Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight at that time, he came back. He won the fight easily, and he sang after the fight. Me and Matt were just looking like, yo, this guy's fucking nuts. He's singing after he just won a fight, but he won us over by doing that.
And he's
doing that to Vegas right now.
He's a hell of a boxer. He's a hell of an athlete. But listen, he's an entertainer too, and he gets it. He's just one of those guys that gets it. So.
Quickly, what do you think about the second fight, and what do you think happened in the third fight?
My prediction for the second fight, I did have Deontay Wilder winning by knockout. Was I surprised that Fury won? No. Was I surprised in the manner that he did? Yes. Much credit to him. At that weight, like Dave said, the way he was moving around, I was very impressed. And
273 pounds.
Yeah, moving around like that's not easy. I mean, but with that being said, to what you were saying, Pete, about avoiding that punch, well, I think Fury did well in that second fight was keep the fight at a close distance so that when Deontay was landing
he couldn't generate his power.
He could not generate full power.
He's got to have extension.
Exactly. So he did not allow Deontay Wilder to get full extension. May that have caused have caused Fury a point because of the whole tying up situation, whatever. Yeah, but I think that was a risk that Fury was willing to take, and it paid off
because he knows he's going to win the boxing fight of it. So he can lose a point because he's going to win a bunch of points. We're going to win a bunch of rounds.
And not to mention by the time he lost, not to mention by the time he got the point deducted. If I'm not mistaken, he had already had 1 or 2 knockdowns under his belt.
Yeah.
So at that point, it didn't really matter. But much credit to Fury. I love this game plan. The third fight, I don't think is going to be easier, like Dave said. I do think Fury does win with the same strategy. Unfortunately for me, as much as I do love Wilder, I just think he's too one-dimensional, and I think that Fury... And I think that Wilder doesn't have enough as far as in his arsenal, other than his power, to beat Fury. Now, obviously, I mean, this could be one of those fights where Wilder could knock his ass out in 3 rounds, and shit, we'll go to a
fourth fight.
But
maybe you never know. Yeah,
you never know. But with that being said, I like Fury's chances a lot in the third fight.
All right, so next fight we want to quickly talk about, and this one looks like it will be July 11th in Saudi Arabia. That's what it is rumored to be at right now. Mikey Garcia versus Pacquiao. I think it's a good technical fight. I think Pacquiao is the bigger fighter. I think Pacquiao wins that. I just don't like 147 for Mikey Garcia, so I'm going with Pacquiao. What do you think?
I like Pacquiao. Again, it sucks, man, to see Mikey in the situation. I remember when Mikey lost a lot of years, man, of his boxing career, dude.
He wanted to be a fireman.
Yeah, hey, fuck it.
Oh, it's legal issue too. With
with Top Rank, but I mean,
and I felt like he did lose a lot of
people
steam.
Question his heart.
Now
for boxing.
Now when he came back, he picked up a little bit of the steam, but I didn't think he got 100% there. With that being said, as of right now, my current prediction, I'm going to have to lean towards Pacquiao. I just think not only his experience, I think experience more so than speed is going to play a huge factor in this fight.
All right, what's your pick on that?
Yeah, listen, I think the fight, obviously, both have big names in boxing still. I agree with you guys, though. I don't like Mikey at 147. I don't think his power is came up with him.
No.
He's best, obviously, at 140. That's where he did his best work. That's where his technique, his style really blossomed. Even at the age of, how old is Pacquiao now? 70. Even at his age right now, I think Pacquiao definitely has the advantage, on Mikey in terms of size, in terms of experience at the weight, and he's obviously fought bigger fighters, in his career, which he's been able to knock out. So I think it's a kind of a close fight because of Mikey's youth. But I think ultimately Pacquiao wins this fight.
Real quick before we move along, Pete, because my thing that comes to mind is I don't think that Mikey has the type of power that could keep Pacquiao honest. Now, we saw Pacquiao's last fight with Keith Thurman, obviously a way bigger puncher than Mikey Garcia at that weight class.
Yeah.
And he was landing some flush shots at Pacquiao. And again, every time I see Pacquiao fight at this age, I get a little nervous. I'm like, damn, it might be one of those type of fights where Father Time could catch up because he can catch up at any given night when he steps in the ring, though. But does Mikey have that type of power?
He doesn't have the power, but I think he's a better technical fighter than Thurman, so I think it could be closer in terms of rounds than that fight was.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good point.
But one quick comment before I want to move to the next fight is I think Mikey Garcia may be one of the smartest men in boxing, and people don't give him credit for it. The reason why is that while you see people talking junk on Twitter, Terrence Crawford saying, about crossing the street, and Errol Spence about crossing the street, and we see why these fights don't happen, and then we all end up blaming the promoter, saying, why does this promoter want to work with this promoter? It's the fighter's decision. The fighter decides to do these fights with a promotion company. They sign how many times they want to fight under this promotional company. You look at a guy like Mike Garcia. Mike Garcia was locked up with a top-ranked contract. He went through all the issues to get, as you mentioned, he missed that time. And what did he do? He came back and he's signing one-fight deals. He's not signing long-term with a promoter. He's fought with Al Haymon. He can fight on the zone.
And nobody really does that.
And he can fight on the zone. He can fight against Pacquiao with Al Haymon. He's not locked in to fight with anybody, and that's the smart thing to do. Now, when he gets to a certain age where he says, you know what, it's time to cash out, now he can sign a long-term deal and get whatever he wants to before he's done. That's how you have to do. I understand your first contract because I spoke with a lot of boxers. They signed their first contract to get the money.
Yeah, to get in there. Yeah, you got to get
your foot in the door. You have your first contract, you finish that. Your second contract, just like with football, you got to make that your big deal. But with that contract, you got to do one fight, and to have these promoters fight over you. You can't be saying, I'm locked down, or I can't fight this guy because he's with another promotional company. You got to be able to make that happen. You got to be smarter. And guys like Terrence Crawford and guys like Errol Spence, you got to be smart at that and sign these one-fight deals so you can fight each other, and you're going to get the big money, and you don't have to share as much of it as you would if you're locked up on a long-term contract.
He's smart, man.
But just because we only got a couple minutes, let's quickly move on. Chocolatito against Kal Yafai won the championship. Dominated the fight. I thought he won 6 of the 8 rounds before he finished in the 9th round. Now, the question I have to ask really quickly is he now back to what he was before as a contender for the top person? At one point, he was ranked as the number 1 pound-for-pound guy in the world. Now, after he fought Rungvisai, he ended up having all these issues, and he had to take 15 months off because of medical issues. Is he back to where he was before, or is this he's just the 3rd best person in that division? What do you think, Brian?
3rd best person in the division. He is
not better than Estrada, not better than...
he is not back to where he was. Now, does that mean he's completely done? No.
No. It's just the 3rd best person in the division. That's a good division.
No, that's exactly. Do I still think that Chocolatico still has a lot left in him? Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the near future, and I can't wait because I'm excited. But, after this dominant performance, I mean, I can see why people would automatically say yes, he's back. We're all excited, but I don't think he's necessarily back per se, but I'm looking forward to him seeing back in the...
Yeah, listen, I think he's back, you know what I'm saying, as a good fighter, but not what he used to be, obviously. Like you said, he was considered, pound for pound. He did fight, I think his opponent was a 2008 Olympian at one point, so, he was pretty good.
After his 15 months off, he came back and he fought an okay fighter.
So,
and now this one was big.
It remains to see if he's back. But listen, I like that. The Nicaraguan's back, man.
Yeah, I like him, and I want to see him against the top person. Really quick though, give your comment because there's no buzz on it. Canelo versus BJ.
Stay busy.
No. Stay busy fight.
Yeah,
what do you think about it?
It's a tune-off. It's stay busy fight, baby.
Don't
hate. Don't hate. Don't hate the play.
So neither one of you are going to watch the zone to watch it?
Hell don't know.
Of course. I got my boys.
3 hours.
I got my boys' username and password.
Hey, last time I was on the zone, I was waiting 3 hours before the main event. No, thank you.
Oh my God! You know what? That's true. So listen, we will be back with you guys next week. We'll talk about all the different things once again in sports. So we will catch you next week, guys. Peace out.
Órale, mi gente. Peace.
Later.